our comments have exploded
through the roof.
So there you go. All right. Hey, Lancaster, it's like the start of summer. I think officially, right?
It doesn't feel like it out there.
Yeah, the weather's not cooperating, but your schedule is, right? You got graduations, kids are out of school. You're already thinking, man, these teachers have the heart of saints because your kid's home driving you nuts, right? Welcome, Chris Stone, the producer of our show, Lancaster Connects. Chris, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Helping us out this week, right?
Yeah, why not? Why not bring me, out here and I have to put a shirt on and join the show with you guys. Always a pleasure to join, especially for today because this is a special show and I'm excited to be a part of it. So thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you for playing along, so to say. So, title of this week's show: Drink Big, Fund Smart, the Sleep Better Mattress Fundraiser. So we've got something very special to unveil here with you this week. And I'm really excited because we just had a long-time customer, a long-time friend of yours, come in the store.
Determined almost 30 years.
Yeah. We're all getting old. But we kind of ran what we're going to share with you on the show by her, and she was really jazzed. And so we're really excited. And so without too much further ado, Chris, why don't I turn it over to you to kind of be the lead, and we're going to tell all of Lancaster what this is all about, what this week's show has for them.
Let's do it. This, I had a sneak peek into this and what you guys have been cooking up. So I'm excited because this is, as far as I know, the first of its kind. So I'm excited to have you guys kind of talk about it and just, so let's just get into it. Let's talk about exactly what the Sleep Better Mattress Fundraiser is. Let's roll into it. What's the big announcement today, guys?
Yeah, so we're pleased to announce that beginning as soon as we have our first participant in this fundraising effort, they will connect to $25,000 from Gardner's Mattress and More and local grants. So
pretty amazing.
So we are very excited about this. And we're going to walk through what you do to get that. Probably going to be the easiest application process that you as a teacher or you as a board member, you as a department head will have ever gone through to get a grant. And so we're gonna walk through what that's all about. And really, what we want to stress is your organization is going to get the same Gardner's Mattress and More experience you know and trust. You're going to be treated the same. We're not inflating prices. You're going to get the same 5-star service and commitment to helping you wake up happy and really turn back the clock on your life, right? Because when you sleep better and you sleep well, what do you do, Ben?
You're adding life to your life.
Right.
You're extending your life.
You're adding years back, right?
That's
You're
right.
grabbing them back, taking them back. And that's really what sleep is all about. And we're really renewed in that focus here at the store. And so the Sleep Better Mattress Fundraiser helps school organizations. So let's name them off, right? Like, so football, right? That's near and dear to me.
Yeah.
Music.
Baseball, soccer, music. Yeah. Near and dear to my heart and my upbringing.
Volleyball, cheer.
Yep.
Basically, if your school, your organization serves student learners and youth, that's who this is for. Serves those families that have those kids in those programs and they have fundraising needs. We'll get to, we'll share where you go to start this process here in the show, but that's who these grants go to. And we've made it really pretty simple. And so I guess in a nutshell, to put a little bow on this part of our time together, $25,000 in local grants, spread out throughout the community. And each organization at a minimum is going to get how much, Ben?
$750.
For
participating.
Yeah. $750.
That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. So you guys touched on your interest in music, your interest in sports. But obviously it goes deeper than that for you both in the community. Why are you guys doing this?
Listen, we have a real focus here at our store on our customers, on our community, and on the impact that we can create. And, we had the pleasure of having the mayor's office in Lancaster give us a proclamation for the mattresses that we donate back through off the streets. we just want to be that hub, that place in our community where people think, first and foremost, to get great sleep, trust us, help them educate on how to sleep better. And in turn, we want to give back, right? And this money is again, I said, we're not going to inflate prices.
Mm.
We're not robbing Peter to pay Paul here. This is simply taking on the balance sheet dollars from advertising companies. So I'd rather give it to a local school, local theater association, education association, you name it. And if we don't say your thing, we're not excluding you. Please fill out the application. You go to Gardner's Mattress and More.com/fundraiser. And we'll get that up throughout our time together, and it'll be in the notes and whatnot. But go to that site, our page on our site, and fill out the application. All right. So if we don't say your thing, we're not excluding you. But all we're doing is taking those dollars we would give to Google, to Facebook, the newspaper, radio, you name it, any place a business can advertise. And we're just directing those dollars back to our community for a deeper connection. Because that's really what advertising is, right?
Absolutely. When we give money to the radio station and newspaper, obviously our message gets out there, but that money can go, it goes to the salesperson. It goes to the heads of the newspaper and the radio station. There's a lot of money that's not being reinvested back into the community, let's say, right?
Right. Or even our store.
Right.
There's a percentage of those ad dollars that don't go to distribution of the ad message.
Very true. Very true. So in our effort to give back to the community, of course, the Lancaster community that supports our business and has supported our business for the last 35 years, this is one of the ways that we want to give back, because we know 100% of the funds that go to these organizations are impacting the kids positively.
Yep.
It might go to redoing a field, uniforms, equipment, instruments.
Yep.
All of that stuff is expensive for these organizations. And to know that our advertising dollars, you're helping bring us customers, which of course we're helping them sleep better. The world turns, right?
It's a win-win-win.
It's a win-win-win for everybody.
Yep.
But we know that 100% of our grant money and give back to the organization impacts these children.
Yeah. And it's not just about the grant dollars. That's the smallest piece of the pie.
That's true.
There's a whole big $10,000 chunk of the pie that you have access to. So, Chris, I think we'll move on. Let's get into the next part of our time together.
Yeah. So traditional fundraisers, I think a lot of people, when they think about fundraisers, they think certain things, right? They think, there's, somebody's knocking, trying to sell me a candy bar. Here's a coupon with a bunch of, brands on the front of it that you may get 5% off. You don't really kind of know what's going on. There's a lot of fundraisers that are out there that people are burned out from, so talk about that and talk about why this is different.
Yeah. I mean, first and foremost, we approach this like you're a parent. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You got kids.
Mm-hmm.
You got a spouse. You're
Mm-hmm.
busy.
Very busy.
I got kids. I got a spouse. We're busy. Right now, there's those discount cards that Chris referred to sitting at home on our kitchen island, and I am gonna put the proverbial foot in my kid's butt to get out the door and go sell some of those, right? Because part of this whole effort, as we work with your organization, is to get your kids, your students, your learners, your players, your athletes involved and help build those confidence skills of one-on-one interactions, talking about a mission, talking about a purpose. And if they catch that sales bug, fantastic.
Yeah.
But that's part of it. And the part for you as a parent is you're not herding cats, right? You're not looking at those cards like, well, I guess if little Johnny or Susie wants to win the prize, I got to buy 4 of those things.
Right. And then you're left over with a bunch of things that maybe you don't even want or have.
Right.
I remember high school fundraisers for music. We did some cool trips with the music department, but it was grapefruit and oranges. Now, you can eat that stuff, but then
it goes bad.
It goes bad. It has an expiration.
You have to put it somewhere.
So
you have to lug the grapefruits, the oranges.
It's a massive
subs,
undertaking. Yep.
Candy bars in the summertime. Like, I don't know who thought of that, but we're not making you do that.
Yep.
I remember some time in Cub Scouts, we had a sub-assembly party. I never eat raw onions. I don't like the smell. I don't like the smell in my breath, right? That's a salesperson thing. I I just did not like at all that my hands smelled like onions
Yep.
for what felt like weeks afterwards.
Yep.
We really have built this fundraiser to take all of that angst and frustration and time on top of time that you already give back to your organization. If you're the leader, if you're the volunteer organizing this, we've built this, I guess you would say, for speed and for impact, to get the most with doing the least, which is kind of a oxymoron in most aspects of life. But you get to use our store.
Right.
You get to use our people, right? And like Ben can attest, compare delivering a hoagie to delivering a mattress.
Yeah. So I'm not sure exactly where you're going with that.
Well, in other words, delivering a mattress is hard.
Yeah. If a consumer would do it on their own, correct. Yeah, extremely hard.
Yeah.
Fighting with your spouse to get it up the stairs, get the old one down.
Right.
Transporting it home, all of that. Yeah.
And so if you and your child sold 100 hoagies and you and your kid sold 100 mattresses, you would have to deliver 100 hoagies. We deliver 100 mattresses.
Right.
And it's not easy, but we're doing it anyway.
Right.
Because that's what we do.
It's what we do.
We're experts at it.
Yep.
That's where I was going with that. Sorry to put you on the spot.
I got you.
I'm not sure where that was going, but I think you guys landed the plane. So no selling, no deliveries, no parent burnout. How does this work? Because you got a lot of people hooked right now.
Listen, it's participation. Okay. So when we say no selling, what we mean by that is participate, right? Share this out on your social media. We're going to go over our flyer. We need that to get printed and that to go out. If we print it for you, that's part of our commitment. But if you choose to print it, maybe, I'm not saying use company resources or school resources nefariously, but if you're able to print the flyer, well, we're going to pay a printing company anyway. So we'll bonus you back some dollars there. Like, there's all different ways to gamify this. Participation is the key word, right? And that's inserting in front of selling. Our crew here, our people here are going to work with your people to find that right fit. And again, you're getting all of the Gardner's service points, all of the thing that's made us a 15-time Reader's Choice favorite mattress store in the county. You can read our reviews. So that's, Chris, does that answer your question about this? That's how this works. It's about participation. It's about your network. It's about expansion, about letting all the people you know about what's going on here in the store for your organization's week. So
the grant is $750 at a minimum. So if I'm someone that's going, okay, that sounds great, but I want more than $750, right? So how can I be involved for and raise more funds than that? If it is, printing some flyers, how does this work a little bit more intrinsically for someone that says, I'm in, how do I go about it tactically?
Yeah. So as we said, the first thing is you're going to apply on our website. Okay. And then we'll schedule a time to call you on the phone. We can jump on a Zoom. Maybe you prefer Google Meet. That's fine too. We'll connect. We'll just understand your organization. We'll understand what fundraising needs you have. Obviously we want tremendous impact because we're going to give. I mean, it is very doable. We have done $100,000 sales weeks here in our store. Mm-hmm. And if we have 200 families pulling in the same direction, 300 families, 100 families, those numbers are very attainable. And so you'll fill out the form and then we'll have that call. We'll understand your needs. And it goes back to that participation, right, Ben? It's about spreading the word, right? So, put your hat on right now. You're very involved with Manheim Township Baseball. Mm-hmm. So Manheim Township Baseball would likely participate in this. How would you deploy this fundraiser to your Manheim Township parents?
Yeah, so it is all about communication from the organization to the parents. This is not a forced fundraiser thing. It's not something where the parents have to put money out to be involved or anything like that. The key is the communication, getting the word out about the fundraiser and how the fundraiser can impact the kids, and what this money goes to. I know, for example, with Township Baseball, it's field maintenance, redoing some of the fields, which, on a rainy day like today, some of these fields get unplayable. So that's a big push for where some of this money can go. But it is a communication. It's sharing the information with parents via the communication vehicles that the organization has. Some of these organizations have apps that they use to manage communications. It's emails, it's text messages, it's flyers. Some organizations have multiple meetings throughout the year. Of course, distribution through the kids, from the coach to the kids to the parents, right, with a flyer. So there's a number of vehicles that we organize. We do all of the organization, development of the emails, development of the flyers, the fundraising head or the board of directors of these organizations. They don't have to do anything other than organize the information that's coming from Gardner's Mattress and More to them to get that word to the parents.
Yep. Yeah. And you left out one that I think that's the easiest, and you're probably doing it maybe while you're eating, maybe while you're watching TV. There's stats out there that say a great many people use social media while they're in the bathroom.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Social media, right? So we're going to give you, as your organization leader, as a parent participant, even as a student, if you're on social media at that age, we're going to give you the images for this. We're going to give you the digital flyer. We're going to give you the copy for the email, the text that is for the email, for the social media post. We'll have a whole kit for you ready to go. And so, Chris, let's leave the flyer on screen. Does that kind of peel back a few layers of the fundraising onion for you, Chris?
It does. It does. And so you're saying that each school will be able to there'll be a customized flyer for them.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So we have a design team, a remote design team, and team members here that do a number of things for us. Our remote team is fantastic. They will take those images that are kind of more stock images at the moment. We'll take your images and that you'll send us. So we'll just get those from you and we'll put them in. So it's going to speak to your parents, represent your kids, represent your athletes, represent your musicians. Right there in the middle where the Sleep Better Mattress Fundraiser logo is, that'll be your logo. Okay. So that'll be yours. We'll put your fundraising week on there. I think we outlined about 25 to 30 weeks throughout the year that work for us as a company to best support incoming business. Okay.
And your organization gets to work with us to pick the date that works best.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So from those dates, you'll pick 3 on that page on our site. And you'll pick your top 3, and then we'll just work with you and say which one works best. Okay. If you don't see something on there, pick the next best one, and we'll talk about that in our meeting right there. Yep. So you'll be able to select 3 time frames there, and we'll narrow it down to what works best for you. Again, we want you to think like if football, right? I'm a football guy. I'm a football parent. Okay. You're not going to do this fundraiser in the fall. Right. Probably, if you're like our family, once July 15th hits in the calendar, you're done till November. Mm-hmm. Cool. Let's do it in the spring.
Right.
Okay. If you're spring volleyball, get your young ladies active in the fall.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
We're here to support this for maximum result. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Let's talk about, well, I'll let Chris ask the next big question, but I think if we're mind melding, Chris, what's your next big question?
Well, I mean, you've gone through how someone can, sort of be verified, get the grant, but how are these tracked? Like, how does this work in specifically? So, you've picked the date, you've got the flyers, you're engaged, you're spreading the word, right? Yep. How does this all get tracked?
So we have a guest in the store right now. Let's fast forward in time and say this was Manheim Township Baseball's shopping week. Okay. So the good news here is you've got 7 days. I think I've calculated in the past, we're open something like 65 hours throughout the week.
65, yeah.
Something like that. Most days there's 2 or 3 people here. So again, we're built for maximum impact. So let's say this guest was involved with Manheim Township Baseball. So this would have Manheim Township's logo on the front. They would bring it in or show it on their phone. If there's a referring student or family, you would write that in. Sorry, I need to do a little better job of on camera. You would
Mhm.
write that in on here. And we already have this draft of the flyer up on our site, but you would just write that in there. And we'll talk about what that means in a minute, because it wouldn't necessarily have to have that filled in, but there's going to be some prizes.
Right.
We're going to do some fun prizes.
Right.
Again, I said earlier on, I want some of these kids and athletes and students and musicians to build some confidence, having gone out and talked to their neighbors and talked to their friends at church, or, their peers and the parents of their friends, etc. Right. I want them to build some skills, right? Beyond just communicating in apps and cell phones.
It's great.
Friends.
The total financial benefit goes back to the organization, but the student who has the most amount of referrals, let's say, can get a prize.
Yeah. So, Chris, did that answer your question? Because, you're a discerning mind. And so your questions are likely our youth or our group leaders and parents' questions too.
Yeah. I mean, I think, for me, it's a easy way to just kind of say, hey, listen, take the flyer with you, or use this. You're at the store, and I think there's a because some people will look at this and go, how is this being facilitated at the store level? Is this really, are they massaging numbers back and forth, right? And so I think this is a great way to do it. It's a great way to keep things trackable, and like you said, super easy to do. And those that are maybe hesitant about the amount of flyers, amount of trees that they might save, there is a digital way for you to share this information as well. So there's that. So that alleviates those concerns as well. So absolutely. So go ahead,
Chris. Just to add on that point about the squishiness of the numbers and where's the math working. If you are in business, if you're in sales, listening to this and watching, we're already adept at asking, tell us how you heard about us. Were you referred? Did you see our reviews? Right? We have that in our process of how we engage with customers already. And so we will naturally let our team know, hey, just again, to use Manheim Township Baseball as an example, this week of June 16th, 2025, I'm not speaking for Manheim Township Baseball here. But as an example, this week, the 16th of June, is Manheim Township Baseball's Youth Baseball's week. Yep. So our team's going to know that.
They're going to be on alert.
Yeah. So we'll be asking, hey, are you here for the fundraising shopping week? Because we'll know when we're on and when we're off. Okay. Because again, we've set up those week parameters around the times that we can best serve your people, because we don't want to shortchange any part of this experience with your people. And that kind of goes back to that point about subs and candy bars. And, I remember I supported a former youth football player that I coached. It was the world's worst taco stand that I bought. Just like this thing was made of the cheapest metal possible, and tacos aren't that heavy, even when you fill them full. And this thing folded, and in the dishwasher, it like melted and twisted.
I know what you're talking about. I bought popcorn from an organization. I'm happy to support an organization, but I spent like $100 on popcorn, and I got like popcorn that was odd flavors, which I picked out, but it wasn't very good. And the quantity was like so small. It was like, I mean, again, happy the money goes to the organization. But
happier to have had the actual popcorn.
Yeah, or just like normal popcorn at a, like a container or something, like a decent amount of it.
Yeah.
There's, we can't discount a mattress. We can't take stuff out of a mattress.
Right.
It's you're getting the full Gardner's experience, no discount on the experience, no discount on the product from a what it is standpoint. Right. And, we're planning to do this 30 some weeks out of the year. There's no way that we can go through the showroom and change prices just for fundraisers. It's not how we operate.
It's not in our ethos at all. If you followed us, you could literally use Wayback Machine and like see how we've approached transparency in our offers and our messaging and our pricing over all these years. Sorry to cut you off.
No, that's perfect. I mean, we want to give huge checks back to these organizations. On top of the grant that we're already committing to.
In my prior life, prior to being here in retail, I had a statement when a sales manager would question me about what would sour our relationship. Stop writing me the big checks I'll earn. Right. So we want to write big checks to organizations, right? Because that means you did a great job of participation a great job of promotion, a great job of connecting, and we'll take care of the rest.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So speaking of great participation, this is on my mind and maybe on the minds of a lot of parents, participants in the fundraiser, and that is, how do the sales percentages work? So if, obviously it's a minimum of $750 grant, right? But you want to hit that bit, you want to hit that $10,000 mark. So how does that work in terms of percentages, like, 5%, 7 or 10%?
Yeah, so we'll have that all laid out on the flyer. Again, we've kind of designed this a one-page front and back flyer. So this way, you're often these associations and groups are volunteer led, right? They're busy too.
Mm-hmm.
All the facts, ma'am, all in one place. So on the back, you as an organization are going to make a decision on if this is viable, and you as a parent are going to know, and participant are going to know exactly where it's going. And so, $15,000 starts to where the percentages come back in. So at 15 grand and up for your shopping week, we start giving back 4%, and you can see it. There's another marker at 25, another level at 40, another level at 65, and then another level at 100,000. And so, yeah, your organizations that might have 100 families, 150 families, we might be right there in that meaty middle. Your bigger organizations that have a couple hundred or more, we ought to be able to hit that 100 and understand, we're not trying to show off here, but, $15,000, that's pretty common for us to do in a day.
Right.
So very attainable is why I share that. We're not setting this up to dangle a carrot. Like I said, we want to write what?
Big checks, huge checks.
Big checks, baby. Right? We're Seinfeld fans if you haven't picked up on that so far. So yeah, that's how it works, right? Very simple, and it's right there on the flyer. We will track everything you can, and certainly as a parent and as an organization, if you feel in talking and your threads in your apps and your threads in your social media are like, yeah, I bought and I bought and I bought, and you're kind of wondering how the math added up, that's a question in our wrap-up meeting that we'll go over. Like, we will show you a report because we can print out a report by code of everybody that bought, right, Ben? Because that's your department.
That is my department. Absolutely can.
Yeah, so we can happily share that back, and everything we do here around those systems, we try to automate or push a couple keys and it spits out a report. So we'll be able to do that. Does that satisfy, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the fact that this is a teamwork kind of thing, not to put any puns on the sports thing at all, but that you're sitting down at the table, so to speak, with these organizations and saying, what is the best week? Let's customize something for you. So when someone chooses their week, I'm assuming it's a 7-day week. You guys are open 7 days.
7 days. Yep.
Okay. So they choose the week. You've in the form, which you go to, and by the way, those that are just listening, it is gardnersmattressandmore.com/fundraiser. You go into the form, you're selecting your week. Obviously, I'm guessing that if you're going to choose that week, no one else gets that week. So the quicker you are, the better the opportunity you have to get the week that you want that works best for your school. Got it.
Yep. You're giving us, you're selecting a choice of weeks, like your top 3, and then we work with you to select exactly which week. Yep.
Yeah, because somebody might have already grabbed one of your number 1, so we'll give you your number 2.
Got it. Okay, that's clear. So, I guess the next question would be, I mean, this is entitled the Sleep Better Mattress Fundraiser. So what if somebody comes into Gardner's and says, I don't need a mattress. I need mattress covers and I need pillows. And you know what? These are some really cool, chairs, massage chairs that you guys have too, that I've been looking to pick up. And now a portion of that proceeds can go to my school. Does it just cover mattresses?
Nope. Covers everything.
Yep.
Nice.
Any purchase made with the flyer, with your organization's information on it, will be tracked. So, we sell, let's say, a bundle of pillows, protectors, sheets with a mattress. Let's say a mattress is $2,000 and you buy $500 worth of extra accessories. That $2,500 purchase qualifies towards that $15,000 goal, as does a massage chair, as does somebody that just wants to come in and support the organization and get a great pillow or two for their own bed. It doesn't have to be just mattresses.
And grandma and grandpa can participate too. This is not to assign certain abilities to grandma and grandpa, but we have lift chairs.
Yep.
We have mobility products, like things to get in and out of the car easy. We have canes. We have walkers. We have bed rails. We have poles to get out of the sofa. We have tray tables, which actually are really cool to put under your chair. Like, I've been eyeing up one of those. I might, as we redo our living room, get one of those.
Uh-huh.
So anything in the store that we sell that goes on your ticket as merchandise qualifies. Tax doesn't count. Delivery doesn't count.
Yep.
Okay. If you pay by cash, it counts. If you pay by check, it counts. If you pay by credit card, it counts. And here's why I bring this up this way. Let's say you were thinking about getting a mattress at the end of the year, right?
Mm.
And your fundraising week for your organization is in July.
Mm.
And you're the kind of person that likes to budget. And you were saving up to get in November or December as a Christmas gift between you and your spouse. Well, we said we can have you pay by cash, check, credit card, and we do no interest financing as well.
Perfect.
And so if you're that kind of person and you want to help your organization out and get a 2-for-1 and sleep better sooner and do Christmas in July, you could use 6 months or 12 months no interest financing. And we have longer.
Yep.
We would count that as well. And so that helps everybody participate right in the week. We have longer terms that we can offer as well for no interest financing, but we have all the vehicles to make this happen for everyone, to make it affordable and make it happen in the week you're fundraising.
So you talked a little bit about the distribution of the flyers, the digital, emails, social media, things like that. What's kind of expected of a group to promote this? And is there any incentive for them to do, maybe more things other than obviously, the more mattresses and things sold at Gardner's, the more that's going to benefit the organization. Is there any incentives to, in terms of, like maybe bonuses?
Yeah. Great question. There is. So we have a few things. We said participation, right? So we want to talk with you. We want to talk with your organization about a kickoff event, in person, virtually. We offer a product that can change your life. And so in the thought of participation, if you can see our products, feel our products, experience our products, those massage chairs, what's a mattress store doing selling walkers, selling grab bars and poles? Mm-hmm. If you experience, if you see it, if you feel it, you'll understand it and you can better talk about it, right? And so that's why having a kickoff party is important. If we can, we'll talk to your organization. Some organizations will have more people here. Some organizations, we won't have that same expectation. We'll have that conversation. We'll craft this to where it works, where it fits, where it's set up to win. But that kickoff party is an extra $250 on top of the $750. So now we're at $1,000.
Just like that.
Not a big check, a good check, but we want big checks.
Yes, we do.
Right?
Yes, we do.
So those kickoff events can work and add to it. Sending extra messages to your list, right? So we ask for a minimum set of communications. And again, that'll all be communicated. But if you send a few extra direct messages to your list, that's an extra $100. All right. You do some extra social media posts above what we ask you to do. That's an extra $100. Okay. If you can print the flyer, right? So let's say your work has no problem and maybe it's their policy. If you do a charitable thing, you can print anything you want on our printers. Well, we'll give you that file and you print it off. You can save that money of our print costs, right? Because we would have spent it anyway. Yeah. I'd rather give it to you, right? We love Weaver Associates, great local print company. Okay. But I think they'd be okay giving you the money for your charitable efforts versus giving them. We do a lot with them. They'll be fine. But we'd rather give that to you, right? So we're setting up this so that you have the maximum potential. And then we'll do some fun door prizes. Again, that's where that in-store kickoff party comes into play, right? Let's talk about what your people would be excited about. Is it sheets or is it pillows, right? Is it, maybe a big prize of that mobility product. I don't know. Maybe you have older kids. Maybe you serve seniors in high school.
Yep.
And juniors, and they would naturally have older grandparents. we'll talk about it. We'll figure it out. Put a great package together. We'll have some door prizes, some top prizes for participation, things like that. So lots of bonuses, lots of prizes to do what?
Sorry.
Write big checks.
Right,
Big checks. My goodness.
Ben.
My brain had a different train of thought.
Big checks. I'm going to write big checks to these organizations. Yeah, because it's all about that connection, right? Coming back, connecting to our community.
What about so what if somebody wanted to do something virtually, do an event virtually? Does that also qualify for the extra $250?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, listen, there's a lot that we can do with technology. We can all jump on Google Meet, Zoom, and we can do a walk and talk around the showroom, show you our products. We want to empower the kids in your organization, the parents in your organization, the leaders in the organization, to be able to talk about what your people, when you refer them to us throughout your shopping week, are going to experience. And again, so we would have that. You would know it. I guess we could even share that recording if you needed it for some reinforcement and a resource. But I think being in store has a tremendous value.
Oh, absolutely. And, we can talk to the kids about the bonuses that they can earn, the contests, and get them excited about it too. Because, good sleep isn't just limited to the people they recommend to come in or refer to come in. It's not just for the parents and grandparents and neighbors. Good sleep can be for the kids too. Right? Every room of the house might have a mattress in it.
Yes, that's right.
So you're gonna make it.
I'm gonna make it.
So I can see this. Maybe some schools are looking at this going, okay, this is a great idea. This is something really beneficial to me. How many times can I do this? I mean, you almost need to have a limit around it, or how often can a school do this?
Yeah, we serve Lancaster County, right? So I think we have 17 or 18 school districts in the county. And so, and there's youth organizations like Manhattan Township Baseball. Yep. So let's say there's a youth organization for every sport that the school might have. So real quickly, with football, baseball, basketball, we've already maxed out the weeks. So long-windedly, it's once a year. Okay. But we would love to have such a great week that this is something you put in your calendar, in your SOPs as an organization, that you would do it annually.
Yep. So
once a year for each organization. Yeah.
So as a parent, historically for me, whenever there was a fundraiser for my kids, it was always like, I'm bringing it on behalf of my kid to where I work, right? Hey, my kid's selling candy bars, can you, and there's that whole sense of obligation kind of thing. That just comes to mind, right? But this sort of absolves that, but it's very different, right? Because there's not candy bars, there's not hoagies, there's not coupon cards. This is a different conversation. So a parent that is maybe just trying to figure out how that works, and this concept, it sounds great, but they're kind of overwhelmed with fundraisers, and also they're like, how do I talk to somebody about going to get a mattress and have that work for benefiting the school? Like, how does that tactically work for them to speak it and kind of help that?
Yeah. You mind if I take the crack at this?
Please.
Yeah. So again, on our flyer, we make it very simple. We wanted a one-page thing to really answer all questions. So this is a great one. So again, we're going to talk with you. We're going to customize your package, give you the flyer, your images, your logo. And then right at the bottom, we're also going to say, we're fundraising for this, right? So now, Chris, in the context of your question at work, that conversation, let's transport it there. Well, who doesn't talk about their kids at work? Who doesn't show off their kids at work? You got the picture of little Johnny and little Susie doing their thing on your desk. So now you get to say, hey, we're raising funds for Johnny's football team.
They need new uniforms.
Here's the flyer. It's a mattress fundraiser. Maybe you don't need something right away, but do you know somebody who does? And if that answer is yes, pass it along, right? Digitally, social media, print. It's really a conversation.
It can be a simple question of, Are you waking up happy?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
How'd you wake up this morning?
if you're an HR director and your kid's involved, you might tactically say, your performance review, one of the things your coworkers note is you're a little grumpy. I have just the thing for you. And then you put this flyer in their hand, right? I don't necessarily advocate that. Wouldn't want you to get in trouble. But the point being, it's a conversation. It goes back to that word participation, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not herding cats. It's not forcing food down somebody's throat they don't want. Not look at this catalog of imported stuff that may or may not fold in half in your dishwasher, like my taco stand.
I don't even know what a taco stand is.
Oh, like a little thing to put your tacos in.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Is that I'm not.
I don't use a taco
right?
stand at home, but now I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I've always called it, a little taco stand. Well, we're not doing those. Everybody knows what a mattress is.
Yes,
right?
they do.
And again, I think that's also what makes it easier, right, Chris? Like that
Yeah.
makes that conversation more simpler.
Yeah, I'm not trying to play devil's advocate here, but sometimes I don't always trust things, at first glance. And so the other thing I think about is, okay, if they're donating this money, are they raising the prices of what they have existing, right? Or does this not include some products or things that are, already, like here, this is on sale, doesn't include sale products? Like how does it, how can you maybe assuage someone's concerns in terms of how you might be working with pricing there locally for each one of these events?
Yeah. Why don't you answer
Yeah, I mean,
that?
our customers know 35 years, there's no gimmicks at Gardner's. Yeah. It's just our everyday philosophy. We have some, what we call our double deals, our everyday promotions. The idea is pricing designed, or we will put a sleep solution package together based on your needs and get you the maximum savings through our double deals. That qualifies no matter if you are a participant with a Sleep Better Mattress fundraiser or not. It is the same product, the same structure. You're going to get the same Gardner service, the Gardner's team, the Gardner's delivery team, the sales team, the delivery team.
Yep.
Your product and service and experience at Gardner's isn't going to change one bit. It's going to be business as usual.
Yeah, love that.
From start to finish. With the exception of the fact that you're bringing this fundraiser flyer in, customized for your organization, and we'll know to track this for your organization. At the end, we total up all the dollars invested from parents, grandparents, friends, neighbors, coworkers, whoever makes a purchase using this flyer and this code. We total that up and we calculate that percentage, and that goes back to the organization.
Yeah. I mean, the beauty of this, to expand on the power of the flyer, right? I'm thinking Seinfeld. Look to the cookie.
The cookie.
Look to the flyer. I mean, the social media aspect, right? If you're active in your local Facebook group, okay, and somebody says, I'm too tired. I need a new mattress. Where do I go? What are your recommendations? Share your flyer.
Yeah.
You may not even know the person, but your organization gets credit.
Yep.
Okay. Like that's where it goes. And everything that Ben said about double deals, even like if your week happens to coincide with vendor promotions, if you are walking in off the street as a non-participant, you're going to get all the same benefits your parents, your supporters will get, because it goes back right where we started. All we're doing is taking on the balance sheet advertising dollars, paying them out in community dollars to these organizations. That's it. That's where the money comes from. It's really very simple.
I love that. And so let's talk about, because we're talking a lot about the funds now. I'm talking about, the concerns maybe that the parents certainly would have, but I don't want to lose sight on what you guys talked about earlier, which was like one of the biggest reasons why you're doing this is not so that Gardners can, necessarily make more money, not that these funds are going to be raised. All those things hopefully will happen, but it's really about the benefit of better sleep and what that can do for the participants here. I wonder if you guys could just jam out on that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to share a story. We had a few years ago now, a teacher from McCaskey reach out about a kid that was sleeping in class. She talked with that kid. Kid's like, yeah, I sleep on the floor. We don't have a bed for me. So she felt compelled to reach out to us because of this show, right? And again, to go back to Chris's question about, parents talking about, what are these guys doing? A mattress fundraiser? That sounds different. Direct your friends, your family, your community, your people to our website. You will see we are a different company. This show, we are a different company. And we care about our community. And next week, we're going to celebrate with our 200th episode of this show, pouring in, depositing into our community. So there's another way to express why we do what we do and why this fundraiser matters. But back to this young man at McCaskey. So the teacher reaches out, says, would you donate a twin mattress? Yeah, we did. We did a mattress, a frame, a foundation, box spring, sheets, pillow, protector. We get a picture back of this kid in his room, big smile on his face, super happy. Well, what's in the corner from the roof leak? Black mold, all the way down to the floor. You could see it out on the carpet. This child was sleeping on the floor in black mold. We're not here for that in our community, in our county. Our impact, I make no bones about it. We want to grow our business. We want to write big checks. Big checks to your organization does mean more sales. It means we perpetuate our impact. It isn't just about more money in his pocket or my pocket. It's about more for your organization, more impact for our community. Another story, I was at Off the Streets annual Extra Give kickoff party for the Extra Give Day. And they had one of their recipients of their charity speak. Now, this was a mother, 4 children, suddenly found herself as a single parent. Husband just walked out one day, said, I'm leaving. And that meant they couldn't afford to pay rent. He leaves. It's kids and mom out on the street. Now, that story could have went as a single parent mom of 4, now homeless, 4 very bad paths for those kids and even for mom. Instead, because of Off the Streets and the wonderful work they do and the small part that we contribute in just simply giving mattresses, what we help to create there is generational change with Off the Streets doing the great work they do. Those 4 kids were kept in a home. Mom was supported. Mom became a nurse and is soon to be radiologist. So fantastic career, fantastic benefits. And those kids have a better path in life. What's behind us, these 4 walls, are a small part of that generational impact. So yes, more sales is great, but it perpetuates the impact in the community. And this store is a platform to make change in Lancaster County. That's why we do it.
I mean, how many more lives can be impacted just through a better night's sleep and through this effort?
Yep. It's not enough until everyone in this county is a customer, connected to us through the community work on this show, these fundraisers, or a beneficiary of the impact that we deliver, like through Off the Streets, or maybe, donations through the show, things like that. I want all 600,000 in one of those 3 ways. It will never be enough until it's that. And if this county grows to 650, I want 650. If it's 700, I want 700. And I'm very serious about that. We're very serious about that.
We are.
Right.
Outstanding. Love the stories. And I think, in general, knowing that you're involving your school, yourself, feeling better about knowing that this is helping that and helping a company like yourselves who has these things in mind. Just, again, if I'm a parent and I have any concerns, they just pretty much went out the window. And, by the way, a better mattress might make your child better at school and better at sports, and just, not so cranky. Which, I'll sign up for that. All right. So why, $25,000, guys, is going to this, which is just, again, just outstanding. Why not just spend this on advertising?
Yeah. I mean, we could. It wouldn't feel good. It wouldn't deepen that connection. I was very emphatic, and I might have had my Jeff face on when I said I want all 600,000 or so connected as a customer within our community or as a recipient of our charity. Those 3 C's, right? Customer, community, charity. 25 grand to AdWords, to Facebook, to the paper. And I please don't think that we don't like supporting our paper.
Oh, yeah.
Lancaster County is great in that it has a good, solid local newspaper with local journalism. That's great. And we like working with them, but we like this better. Right.
Well, and you and I have been doing this together at Gardner's for 14 years, going into our 15th year here. We've, done marketing that hasn't worked.
Yeah.
And it's like setting, if it's 25 grand for this, random marketing effort, it's like just put it here and set it on fire. Like that's sometimes how you feel with some marketing that's out there.
There's been times that I feel we would have just had more fun, literally going in the back parking lot and burning 25 grand or more, literally. And I'm not exaggerating because it's felt wasted.
Yeah. And this has true meaning.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, yes, we want to, like Jeff said, we want to grow the business, but to do that, we are positively impacting our sleepers, which impacts our community. But then through this effort, we're letting the organization spread the word about Gardner's, and we're giving the community and the organization, the funds back that we would have spent for advertising and marketing. And in some cases, just, poof, there it goes,
Yeah. Right. Just like I'm very emphatic about connecting with everyone in the county. I'll say it very clearly this way too, because we've earned what I'm about to say. That teacher at McCaskey, when she needs a new mattress, where's she going? She's coming here.
Yep.
When she hears coworkers, friends, family, sees something on her local Facebook groups, who's she recommending? Us, because we've earned it. We've made that deposit. That's what this is about. It's about a deposit into our community. The Off the Streets crew, where are they going to shop for mattresses? Here, because we've earned it. There's a calendar reminder in my calendar every month. Check in with Off the Streets on what they need.
Mm-hmm.
And we get them a month's worth of product at a time. We've earned the right to say that. And we want to earn the right to have you say those great things about us with your organization. Google doesn't care. They don't know us. Facebook doesn't care. They don't know us. You do. And we want to know you, and we want to be a part of your organization. And we want to make that deposit. We'll go first. We'll earn it.
Outstanding, guys. Let's talk a little bit more, and I don't know if we've done this enough, but I want to circle back and make sure that we underline this. Is if I'm wanting to get involved here, we're gonna put the website here up on the screen, but we're also going to mention it for those that are listening only. It's gardnersmattressandmore.com/fundraiser. And let's talk about getting involved, and maybe not just going to the site, filling out the form. Like, let's talk a little more tactics, like how many weeks are available if you're an organization that's wanting to get involved here. What exactly happens after they've made that commitment, and how does all of that stuff work?
Yeah. So again, getting your week, which will equal your first grant amount of $750. We communicate that you need to send out a series of communications. Once you verify those communications, we'll write you that check. The commission dollars will go over that, but you fill out the application, select your weeks. There's about 25, 30 weeks throughout the year that we've outlined, again, where we can best serve you. Okay. So like May is Memorial Day. That's a very busy month. I don't think we listed any weeks in May.
I don't think so.
Okay. So we did that because we're busy as it is. And we said earlier on, and most or repeated it throughout the show, your people aren't going to be shortchanged at all. And that includes the service and attention we can give you. So those weeks are laid out strategically for that reason. So you'll select three, pick your top, your top three. When we get on the phone afterwards, we'll talk about which week it is that you want, number one, and if it's available, it's yours. We'll look at your application, and it's the simplest application you're going to fill out for a grant ever. Okay. We just kind of want to know who you are, where you're at, what you're raising money for, how many people are participating, that kind of stuff. Fill out the form, we get on the phone, we pick your week, if you're approved, and then we're off to the races. That's step one. Yeah.
I look at this, the competitive spirit in me thinks about this is like somebody grabs that first week that's available and they do something, off your grid, right? Like going to do something really creative with their launch event. And maybe they did something kind of crazy, like, somebody did some special video on their social media to promote it, that kind of stuff. And maybe sharing that stuff, maybe tagging your content team, so that you can collaborate on those posts. Yep. And then another school that's maybe 3 weeks on down the line or a month on down the line sees that and goes, I'm going to outdo that, right? I'm going to outdo
That'd be
them.
fantastic.
I'm going to do outdo them. Like that could be really fun.
There's definite rivalries in the county, right? You got Township, Central,
yep.
Township, Hempfield.
Yep.
Right.
There's a ton of schools that have rivals. Yeah.
Penn Manor. Who do they rival with? I'm not 100% sure.
I don't even know.
Conestoga Valley, Elko. You got that going on.
Really, the success of
Ephrata, Cocalico.
Oh yeah, sure.
As a Cocalico kid,
yeah.
We would Cocalico people. You better beat the Ephrata people as an alumni.
The success. Gardner's is going to deliver 100% no matter what. Like, we are ready to go to rock this fundraiser for your organization. The success of it is all about your participation and energy behind their participation.
But we'll match it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. As the kids say, if you want to throw 100 aura points in on your promotion to have fun, we'll throw 100 aura points in.
I don't know what any of that means.
Are the kids really saying that? I don't know if I've heard that, Jeff. Your kids are saying it.
Not mine, the younger ones.
Guys, I couldn't go any further without sharing this comment here from Monica Forte. Felt the same way and totally understand how you feel. Love you both. My son Dominic loves his mattress. I will always support and recommend you both.
Yeah. Thank you, Monica.
Thank you, Monica. Appreciate you watching. Prayers for you right now and your journey. And there's that's what we're doing in our community, right? Is building relationships, tongue in cheek. We don't one night stand our customers, right? We are in this for the long haul to have every mattress in your home be something from us, because it's not a mattress until it's one from Gardner's, until you sleep on it. We will service all of our products. Just today, we had somebody come in who said, hey, this sheet tore, and should it have torn? And we said, absolutely not. And we exchanged it right away. That's the kind of company we are. And we're going to treat your people, your community, your parents, just that way. That's what this is all about. This is a very simple premise. It's an extension of our business. It's using this store as a platform to connect to the community.
I love it. Guys, as we round third here, so to speak, I just want to reiterate, go to gardnersmattressandmore.com/fundraiser, and I'll just roll it back over to you guys to close out. Let's, maybe summarize the key benefits, the high points of this, the next steps for somebody that's watching at this point. They're in, but let's just maybe reiterate this, and I'm excited to see how this goes.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a lot of fun with the groups, with your group. Again, maybe we've sparked an idea and you've already run down field with it, or have other thoughts. That's fantastic. So you go to gardnersmattressandmore.com/fundraiser. As a board president, a leader of fundraising, a teacher, a department head applying for a grant, this will be the easiest grant you apply for. It's simply this form and then our conversation afterwards, and we'll let you know if we're going to work together. So you'll select your weeks. You give us 3 weeks that work for you. Again, think about strategically. When is your parent group? When are your supporters? When are your fans going to be most interested? If you're football, I wouldn't do it in the fall. If you're a spring sport, I'd do it in late summer or winter, right? Like, think about that. And I don't know that answer for you, but you do. Maybe poll your people, poll your board and ask them. I would definitely, your leadership team, your fundraising crew, please make sure they're available to participate, right? What to expect. That's the next part, right? Participation. Okay. Yes, we sell mattresses, but we're going to ask you to participate in that action of selling a mattress to your community. So participation means we're going to give you all the assets, the images, the flyer. We'll custom make it for you. These kids on the photo become your kids. You send us those images, that logo, your logo. You tell us what you're fundraising for. We put it right on there so it's very clear. Everything is on the flyer, and we have an example of it on that website, Gardner's mattressandmore.com/fundraiser. And you'll say, we're raising money for uniforms. We're raising money for this big competition trip, money for instruments, money for a field upgrade, whatever it is, you'll tell us. Our team designs it for you. We give you the copy. We give you the social media posts. Okay. Again, if you want to plus it, you want to do some kickoff video in the store, absolutely we'll help you with that. That's where, after you apply for the grant and we decide we get on that call and we really get down the details and lay it all out. And then we'll have the ramp up of communications to send out the week of. Our team will know it's your week. As I said earlier in the show, we already ask all the time, did you see our newspaper ad? Did you see our commercial? How did you find us? Were you referred? Hey, we're supporting Manheim Township Baseball this week. Are you here for that fundraising sale? Right? Oh, yeah, I am. I have that on my phone. Perfect. Code in our system will take care of it, right? So every organization will get a report out. All their purchases will be tracked. As you work up the scale of the commissions, it starts at 15 grand, which again, that's pretty common for us to do in a day. So with your organization of 50 parents, 100 parents, 200 parents, that network effect of all of their networks and circles, we ought to easily be able, I think, to have 30 and 40 and $50,000 weeks easily with organizations in the community. But I'd love to hit 100, because when we're at 100 plus, it's 10 grand. Back to your thing. And that does some big things, right?
It's huge.
Trips,
huge.
Uniforms, things the kids could only dream of. We want to make happen. And all we're doing here is just shifting the ad dollars into your organization's pocket. That's it. It's very simple. Nothing gets sacrificed. No price is raised. Not a service point, not a corner cut. It's the same Gardner's experience that you know, that you like, that you trust. If you don't know what fits, we'll educate you on it. Still, the Sleep Better book happens. We don't take that away. Okay, it's not like, no, we can't, no, you're just here for the fundraiser, can't afford to give you a book. No, you get everything.
Full experience.
Discounts that would be going on, vendor specials that might be going on, it's all for you. We just want to use your platform, tie it to our platform, create a win for your organization, create a win for your kids, and create a win for our community, because when everybody's sleeping better, we're a happier place. And that's our goal.
Well said.
All right, guys. Well, I think my favorite point of this is in the flyer, and maybe this is a good way to end it. And you'll decide if that's not the case. But it says under that's it easy. It says no greasy sub trays, no party store runs, no order forms or freezer space needed. Just better sleep, bigger impact, and real money.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Again, it's all on the flyer, all on the link, gardnersmattressandmore.com/fundraiser. If you have questions beyond that, we don't purport that we know it all, but we think this is a great vehicle to help your organization get to its goal. We want to be a part of that. We want to help you get there faster. Go to gardnersmattressandmore.com/fundraiser, and let's have a lot of fun creating a really a win-win-win for your group, for your kids, and for our community.
All right. Are we ready to close out?
I think so, man.
do it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for helping us along. Thanks for asking those questions. You've helped the organizations even think through, right? Because again, this isn't just what Jeff and Ben want for these organizations.
Yep.
So we can maybe refer to some of your questions, Chris. So thanks for being a great host as always. And we're really excited to launch this with the Lancaster community.
All right, everybody. No greasy sub trays, no party store runs, no order forms or freezer space needed. Just better sleep, bigger impact, and real money. See you on the next connection.
Big checks for you.
Big checks, baby. On the next connection.
Comments have exploded through the roof. So there you go.